Okay, number 7, we want to use substitution to determine whether 2 is a 0. So I like to do this with synthetic. So you can do substitution. I think it just takes a little bit more brain power if you're doing it by hand. So if you want to find out if 2 is a 0, you would just plug in 2 everywhere you have an x. So you'd have to do 2 to the 4th power, and then you have to subtract 4 times 2 to the 3rd power, and then add 5 times 2 squared minus 3 times 2, and then plus 2. Okay, so raising 2 to the 4 to the 3rd, second is not bad, but sometimes it gets a little bit, tedious. So you can do it with synthetic division. You can put 2 in your little box and then look at each of your terms from your original polynomial. So over here we have x to the 4, 3, 2, 1x, no x. So we're going to list all the coefficients only. So in front of x squared is a 1, and then a negative 4, and then a positive 5, negative 3, and then a 2. Draw a line, bring the first term straight down, and then everything below the line you're going to multiply by 2, write the result in the next space provided, and then add or subtract according to the signs. So I do 2 times 1, which is 2 combined, and I will get a negative 2 when you add those together. Then 2 times negative 2 will give you a negative 4. Combine those, you get a 1. 2 times 1, 2, combine those, negative 1, 2 times negative 1, negative 2, and then at the end you get a 0. So if you get a 0 at the end, that means that this number is a 0. Anything other than a 0 indicates that this is not a 0. So 2 is a 0, we will say yes. And then if you were to plug it in and solve this, if this equals 0, which it should at the end of the day, it's a 0. If it equals something other than 0, then it's not. Okay, number 8, we want to find the zeros and state the multiplicity. Okay, so it's already put in linear factors for us. So all we need to do is set them equal to 0. So we have this x plus 3. Set it equal to 0, and then you have x minus 1. So subtract 3, and we get negative 3 is a 0, add 1, and we get 1 is a 0. Now the x plus 3 was squared, so it has a multiplicity 2. And then the x minus 1 did not have an exponent, so it has a multiplicity of 1. So the zeros are negative 3 and 1. Negative 3 has a multiplicity of 2. And 1 has a multiplicity of 1. This is all according to the exponents.